guys, today I'm doing a pick a card reading. I've already shuffled off camera like I did before, and I pulled for 3 piles. Now today the question that I was asking as I was shuffling is, what are the strengths and weaknesses of the relationship that my viewer is thinking about when they selected either pile 1, pile 2, or pile 3. So I have some fire opal that I have distributed just around the cloth and on all 3 of the piles. But whatever crystal or deck is resonating with you, I'd like you to take some mindful breaths so that you can center yourself and get the most accurate reading possible. The time stamps will be in the description below, so you can feel free to check those out. But I'd like to get started, so let's go. Okay, hi pile 1. If you chose the first pile, this is going to be your reading. So I'm starting off with the Angel Tarot. All the decks that I used are going to be linked in the description, so check that out if you're curious. So with this deck, I asked for signifiers for you and the person that you're asking about in the relationship. So we have 6 of Swords and 5 of Cups. So in this, I feel like this person is metaphorically a step ahead of you because this 6 is 1 more than the 5. So it's like you're kind of holding on to past hurts in a way, and expecting that this person will come back and do those kind of things again. But this person is looking towards a resolution and looking to move forward with whatever this relationship requires for you to do together or accomplish. But I feel like part of what's happening here is that you're sabotaging because of this focus on the past. But let's look at these other cards. This is from the Wild Unknown, and I shuffled these all ahead of time, so but I did not look at what the cards have. So 9 of Swords, or Wands, sorry, 2 of Wands reversed, Ace of Cups, 7 of Pentacles, 6 of Cups, and 7 of Pentacles and 6 of Cups, 2 of Pentacles and 3 of Cups reversed. So at first glance, this definitely looks like so in terms of strengths, I feel like you are a powerful manifester, and that's why something has been shifted, and Spirit's trying to communicate to you that you need to look in a positive direction. 6 of Cups, looking towards what has already been built here. Like these roots, they're really colorful and they've grown something beautiful, but if you are not caring for them and I guess moving on from the things that don't serve you, they still exist in the history and in the way that the tree has grown, but they don't have to be an essential part of the tree's life anymore. So it's like looking towards new growth, looking towards the future, focusing on what does serve you and the things that are already there and that are tangible blessings in this connection so far. So as a weakness, I feel like focusing on losses or focusing on, yeah, it's like self-sabotage with this 3 of Cups in the reverse. Or this could also be investing time that you should be investing in this relationship with others. It's like an excess of celebration that's outside of what is benefiting this relationship. So over here, oh yeah, so I feel like this here, this Ace of Cups in the reverse, it's not that there is an absence of love in this relationship, and you know this, but it's like not focusing or not acknowledging when this person is showing you love, or not being able to see that clearly, because everyone has different ways that they express gratitude and affection, whether this be a romantic relationship or not. This person is showing you some kind of appreciation, and it's like they feel as if it's going unnoticed, or you're not acknowledging it in a proper way. It's like you notice it, but it's not being addressed. In terms of strengths, I actually want to move these. I feel like these are the strengths in this relationship. So this Nine of Wands is definitely being able to see a progression of something without doubt as well, and not letting other things get in the way, like external things. Like if somebody tells you something that for another person may be an issue or a item of worry, that's not necessarily something that you let get to you, especially when it comes to this partnership or this relationship that you have with whatever person you're asking about. You can really see the long-term goals and benefits of how this relationship works and will progress, and you can see that clear progression to where you're headed, and it's relatively unshakable as well, which is really special. This Two of Pentacles is upright, which is a good sign to me. This is like being able to balance the negatives with the positives, but also balancing the more time-consuming or stressful elements of what this relationship requires with the laid back and relaxed and pleasurable aspects of this connection as well. And then here's another two. I feel like this is also, these twos right here are really signifying that the work that you two do together, whether this be emotional work or actual like career work, it's cohesive, and it goes towards a goal, and it's very directed and focused and clear. So for the final two cards, there are three actually. The final three cards, these are from the Sacred Geometry Activations Oracle. There's Authority, Gaia, and Discernment. And it's interesting, these all have similar color scheme as well. So strength, weakness, and then what is the force that brings this relationship together. So a strength here, authority. This says the frequency of authority reminds us that true authority is powerful, directed, and realized, yet receptive, wise, and loving. So yes, this is a compassion. You guys have compassion for each other and really try to understand where the other person's coming from, put each other in the other person's shoes, but also being able to have the authority to pick up the slack for the other person and know that, like, if you have to step into like 70-30 type of dynamic in a relationship, that person is going to come back and be able to give you that 70 when you need to be the 30. You know what I mean? That balance. And no one person really has too much authority in the relationship. And that's also reflected here with the Two of Pentacles as a strength. As a weakness, discernment. The frequency of discernment supports our ability to view the world and people around us from a place of inner balance and detachment, yet with compassion and wisdom. So, in terms of this relationship as that being a weakness, the discernment that you have, maybe it's not who this person is as a whole, because you know this person, you know that you work with this person well, and you guys balance each other out. It's like discerning when to act in a way that's sensitive to how the other person feels, or this goes along with, even though compassion is a really strong point in the relationship for you guys, it's also like, I feel like you could end up hurting each other's feelings. This goes back to Ace of Cups, which is and it's in reverse. It's like not being able to acknowledge or express when there's gratitude happening from either side, and discerning when you should be communicating these things or holding that back and not over communicating when it's unnecessary. And then bringing you two together, and to finish out this reading, there's the card Gaia. The frequency of Gaia reminds us that we are infinitely connected to one another, just as we are to our great mother and to the universe that birthed us all. So this is just reflecting that this is definitely a connection that comes from source, and I know that you probably feel that this person has been brought into your life for a spiritual reason, and that's being reflected here. Whatever this relationship is, whether it's romantic, work, or friendship, you two definitely do some kind of work that changes the physical world that you both are in and transforms things. So the what you're being reminded of with the Gaia card is that this is something, even if it's not always easy, it is always for your best interest, and you are connected with this person in more ways than one, and that's really special. So thank you for tuning in, pile one. I'll see you next time. Here's for what type of energy you and your person are in to begin the reading. So I feel like you are definitely in this blessings, manifesting the. Okay, so for the wild unknown, we have Hierophant and Temperance and the Hermit and Seven of Cups. So this is very clear. These are definitely your strengths in the relationship, and then your weaknesses. So strengths, following the rules. For some reason that came out, it's like guidelines. Also really maintaining certain expectations in the relationship, things that have been like habitual or like a pattern like in your relationship, you really stick to them so that your partner knows what to expect. And like if you say, I'm going to be there at this time doing this thing, like you're going to be there at this time doing this thing, like your partner will count on you're very dependable and reliable. Also, more even beyond that, you're dependable and reliable to come through even when this person doesn't ask that of you. So let's say I'm getting the idea like you contact them with information that they needed without them even having to ask for it, like that kind of a thing. It's like a telepathic type of connection that you have, where you like anticipate the needs of the other person without them even having to give you any indication that they need that, which is really cool. Temperance, this is also balance, knowing when is too much and when is just enough, and really being able to read each other well, being able to read the other person's preferences, and it's like pattern, like history, like you really are attentive of what this person needs, and yeah, you can emotionally fulfill that, but also when it comes to making plans, like having a good time, you're also really concerned with and usually right about what this person would want. It's like, this is just really knowing someone well. Yeah. And then weaknesses, the Hermit. I feel like this person feels like you can be a little bit difficult to know or get to know, or you misrepresent yourself. Like you'll say how you, like, oh, that doesn't really bother me, when it really does. Or the opposite, like that really bothers me, and then you'll act like the next time you have a situation like that, you'll act a little different. It's like you're a little wishy-washy, I guess, and hard to predict for this person in the way that you can be that way for them. Like it's like this person feels like, oh, why can this person read me so well, but I can't do the same for them? And it like creates kind of an imbalance. But you always remind this person, again with this Temperance, you remind this person like, it's okay, like I don't need you to read me the way that I read you, like it's fine. And then maybe in the past, I feel like possibly there's some kind of hurt, not from this relationship specifically, but other relationships that you have previously been in, or yeah, maybe even not even been in, but just like had affect you heavily, whether they be a relationship that you were in or a relationship that somebody really important to you was in. Looking back at how those relationships worked out, or the kind of patterns and things, makes it so that that's why you're in this Hermit energy, and that's your weakness. It's like you feel like you have to guard yourself off, or act a certain way because, oh, well, I don't want to get hurt like so-and-so did, or like so-and-so did to me in the past. And that's something that definitely should be let go, because dwelling on the past, unless you're actively taking the lesson, like you don't need to dwell on the past once you get the lesson from what's happened. The past is there to serve you, but not linger. And once you get what it is serving you, you don't need to order it again. Like you don't need to try it over again unless you need to learn that lesson again. And the universe is great at serving you up with a situation that will reteach you a lesson if you really want it. So don't be dwelling on things, on these broken cups, these things that have already not worked. You can move forward, like you can manifest everything that you need. You are this Nine of Cups, this blessing, this person who can have their wishes fulfilled and have their emotions fulfilled, and you are having that happen. You just need to not look in the past and open up a little bit more. Alchemy, heart chakra, solar plexus. So again, to reiterate, this is definitely strengths. Alchemy, this is like, I feel like whatever this relationship is, it almost feels like natural, like you just click. It says the frequency of alchemy activates our magical ability and the remembrance of the magic that we all hold inside. Each one of us has the potential to access the ancient knowledge that allowed the true alchemist to perform the miracles of transmutation. Yes, this is like also if there's like some kind of argument, you don't see it as like the end of the world each time. Like you see it as, oh, like we need to work through this. Because your chemistry is strong enough to the point where you're not doubting whether this connection is real or strong or cohesive. Okay, and with the heart chakra, this is what is the energy that brings you two together overall. And this is just, yeah, that's like pure love. Like the heart chakra is like where healing energy comes from, loving energy, compassion. It's out of your chest. It's like when your chest hurts, when your heart breaks, it's because your heart is letting go of like negative energy. But when your heart feels full and your chest feels like your heart is beating so strong and your heart feels like, or your chest feels warm and like puffy, that's like, there's like physical sensations that also go along with this. It's like you can feel in that zone, like when you're around that person, like you may feel like those heart chakra like activations. And then as a weakness, the solar plexus chakra, and this is the ability to lead and have strong vision sometimes. So I feel like sometimes, yes, you are a powerful manifestor, you do have blessings coming your way, but it's like sometimes being able to conceptualize that for you is difficult or hard, because you're like, oh, well, all these physical boundaries are going on in my life. They are keeping me from doing this. It's like, no, you don't need to think in that such a constricted way, because like the universe doesn't think like that. And this also is your sense of self, sense of personal power and willpower. It's like knowing who you are individually, I feel like can be a little difficult. Again, it's like communicating who you are, being really firm in who you are is something that's hard. It's like you almost feel like you're misrepresenting yourself because you don't know how to communicate it without sounding like you don't have it all figured out. And I feel like a lot of this is like telling you to really go within yourself and ask the big questions, like who am I, like what do I want, where am I headed, and where would I like to be headed as well. So that's it for you, pile 2. If you enjoyed this, let me know, and I'll be back again with another video. Hi pile 3. This is gonna be your reading on what are my strengths and weaknesses in this relationship. So whatever relationship you're thinking of, this is basically a little energy read on what's happening. I started with the Angel Tarot, and I asked this deck for signifiers of what you and your person, whoever you're thinking of in this relationship, what kind of energies you guys are in at the moment. So yes, this person is Knight of Swords and you are King of Cups. So I feel like this is a little immature energy. This is drama. This person may be doing things behind your back possibly, or just like not really being as truthful as they could be with what their intentions are or what they're doing. And you're this King of Cups looking right at them, like offering them this cup of commitment, and it's like this person's turned away from you, like doing God knows what. And it's like they barely even notice that you're here. But it's like you want to have this commitment with this person. Whether that, it doesn't have to be romantic commitment, and it doesn't have to necessarily be like a long-term thing, but whatever this is, like you want some type of agreement to be made that is like mutually beneficial, and I feel like you believe that this is mutually beneficial, but right now there is some type of imbalance. Like this person is in some way like gaining things without having to put too much in. So let's see strengths and weaknesses of what you're doing. Okay, we have the devil. 4 of Pentacles in reverse, 5 of Swords, 4 of Swords, and 9 of Swords in the reverse. So these, oh, let me move these. Sorry, these are out of view. So on the left here, we have weaknesses and then strengths. So I feel like you almost view this person as like kind of addictive or like enticing in some way. Like this person is something that you almost like can't get enough of. And yeah, it's like they burn you every single time, but like you kind of enjoy the feeling, because I feel like in a way you feel like it's like being a martyr. Like you're doing something in a sacrificial way, like, but it's really just hurting you. And I don't know how else to put it. This 4 of Pentacles in the reverse, this is like feeling like you have everything under control when it's really not under control, or like lying to yourself, like telling yourself like, oh, everything's stable, everything's fine, like this person isn't doing anything wrong. Yeah, but it's like you're not seeing something clearly. In some way there's some type of like deception that's happening, whether it be self-deception or also contributed to because you're believing this person. You're not using your third eye. You're not looking through the situation, you trusting your intuition on how this person's making you feel and what they're really doing. And then this 5 of Swords in the reverse, it's like you don't want to confront this person. You don't confront this person enough, especially being honest about how you feel, and just telling them, no, like, I don't like that, or that's not what I want to do. Like, that's not my goal for this thing. And yeah, it's like troubling. I feel like this person blatantly, like, even when you have, like, possibly this weakness came about because when, like, in the past, if you have tried to communicate things to this person, they kind of brush it off, or they're like, whatever, and they kind of move forward. And it's like, no, you need to be a lot more harsh about this, and like stand up for yourself, assertive about how you feel and what the implications of that are doing in other aspects of your life. And just being really like decisive about it, because there is no room for being passive or letting yourself get walked all over. Because I feel like right now you're kind of letting yourself be a doormat to somebody who is just acting really selfishly, and they know that you have this attachment to them. You have this feeling like you need something from them, and they use that to their advantage. And it's like but they don't think too much about it. Like, they're like kind of doing their own thing, like, but they do acknowledge it, and then they're like using it in a really negative, like manipulative type way. They'd never say anything about it, and if you ask them about it, they probably would be like, of course not, like, I wouldn't use you like that. But that's really what's happening. Strength. So we have 4 of Swords and 9 of Swords in reverse. I feel like the weaknesses and the way that you act when you're acting out of weakness, it betrays the strength that you have, because you really do see this person's BS. Like, and you've kind of seen it from the beginning, but like in a way you've just enabled them. And yeah, it's like the light is coming out of this lamb's like third eye area. So it's seeing things for as they really are, and also not letting yourself get too caught up. Like when you're talking about stuff with people, you don't sugarcoat what this person is doing when it hurts you, which I feel like is really important for how you move forward from however this person is making you feel. Because being honest with your friends is only doing a favor for yourself, because if the people who are closest to you understand where you're at in a more authentic way, they can help you. And it's not like you let this like keep you up too much. Like you've kind of, because you've already kind of seen how this really is, you don't let it stress you out too much. And with this 9 of Swords in reverse, it's like you're not staying up like mulling over it, but like it definitely is still something that like is pulling at you and not helping you with what you need to. I feel like this is something that like, it's from the past. It's something that like needs to be released in a way, in order for you to move forward. So yes, we have transition. And the frequency of a transition supports our deep understanding of the ever-changing nature of existence and our lives, so that we can learn to let go, surrender to the process, and allow transition to occur with ease and grace. Change. Yeah, this is okay. So this is your weakness. It's like you don't want to accept this transition. Accept that there's a transition happening, that you're moving forward. The energy that's between you is the energy of change. The frequency of change supports our ability to gracefully dance with the forever changing nature of reality, both inward and outward, so that we can appreciate the sweet release of the old and the birth of the new. Magic. The frequency of magic supports our intrinsic ability to grow and expand beyond this moment, to move toward possibilities and expressions that are as grand and profound as we can imagine. All that is required is our belief in their manifestation. So this is definitely you as a strength, because this is reflecting weakness. As a strength, the magic is telling you, yeah, when you're not stressed out, like or because you're not stressed out about this, like you are focusing on the right things and you're manifesting other things in your life that you definitely do need. It's just what you really should focus on is allowing this transition to happen, allowing this change to occur. Don't hold out your cup for somebody who's just gonna go and like talk to other people and do things behind your back. It's just not healthy for you. And it's like wasting energy because you have all this abundance that you can and are bringing in, and the universe wants to support you with that. So let me know if this resonated for you. Otherwise, I think we're finished here. I'll see you in the next video. Thank you, Pile 3.